In this series of videos, what I want to do is to go through this paper as well as bring in some concepts for you that can be important as you prepare for your mathematics and for exams. And this is the latest paper that was written as I'm doing this video. It was written on the 16th of November, and I'm going to go through this paper from question number 1, as you can see it, question number 2, do question number 3 for you. Question number 3, we will look at question number 4, and lastly it ends with question number 5. So what I will encourage you to do, guys, is if this is your first time coming in contact with this channel, I will encourage you to be subscribed and ensure that the notification bell is turned on so that you can be notified every time we are posting a new video. Now stay tuned as I go through each paper. Now I'm going to break this video into parts. There will be part 1 for question 1, part 2 for question 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. So I want you to then follow up on this series of videos. Hence I suggest that you subscribe so that you can see how you can prepare yourself for the final exams. Let's dive into our lesson.
Hello, our most developed student. My name is Confident and welcome to our 24-minute lesson. This is the ultimate guide in maths, science, career guidance, as well as a sneak peek in my personal experiences. This is a channel that is designed with you in mind. Let us dive into today's lesson.
Hello, our most developed student. My name is Confident and welcome to our session where we look at this paper and also bring in some concepts which can assist you as you prepare for your mathematics and for. And I'm using this paper as an example to teach some of the concepts. So let us look at here the first part of this question. Remember, this is out of 100 marks for your N4 and it's a 3-hour paper. So let us start by looking at question number 1. So it says here, prove that you are given a trig and it's out of 5 marks. So we want to look at this trigonometry and ask ourselves, what could we have done in that part? Now look at this. You are given 1 plus sin y and then over 1 minus, this is 1 minus sin y, and then minus 1 minus sin y over 1 plus sin y. And then of course we are proving that it is equal to 4 tan y sec y. Okay, let me write that down because you need to know where it's taking you to. So they're saying this is equal to, I'll use it different, 4 tan y and then what? Sec y. Alright, so you remember when you're proving, you have to identify which side you want to start with. So in this case, I'm going to choose my left hand side. So left hand side, and then I'm not going to rewrite this. I've got the advantage of copying this as is. So this is the left hand side that I'm going to use to say from here, what do I do? Now if you look at this, I'm going to consider the bottom as my common denominator, and in this case my common denominator becomes 1 minus sin y, right, and the other one is 1 plus sin y. Remember, now we're talking about fractions. So if I'm to simplify this, you can see that it's more like the first one. I'm saying 1 minus sin y will cancel 1 minus sin y, and then I'll have that going to the top and multiplying by that. Are you seeing that? So I will have in this case 1 plus sin y multiplying again 1 plus sin y, and similarly cancel the first, the bottom with that, and then I have those two multiplying. Alright, so but be careful now of this negative sign whereby it's minus, right? And then it's better to have a bigger bracket, and then at the same time I've got 1 minus sin y, and then it's 1 minus sin y. Alright, so this is what I'm having on these, and then I need to expand this part. that is open up the brackets, and when I'm open up the brackets is 1 plus 2 sin y. You need to know how to do that. 1 plus sin y, which is 2 sin y, and then plus sin squared y. Am I right? And then now look at this, it's minus, then I put the bracket there again, expand first the inner one, which is 1 minus 2 sin y, which is minus sin y is minus 2 sin y, and then negative is plus sin squared y. Now because I don't want to come back and redo this, what I'm going to do is that my negative, I'm going to distribute it. So I'm going to remove this part here and allow my negative to enter inside. So it will start there, it will go in there and interchange each and every, even interchange that. So what I'm gonna have here will be, okay, let me do that. It will be minus, then to be plus, and then the other one becomes minus here, meaning I've already expanded. You see, I'm just avoiding redoing the step. And then here divided by, I think I need to take off also this bracket here. Okay, divided by, again, I think I can leave it as is at the bottom for now. 1 minus sin y, let's leave it like that, and 1 plus sin y, but I think we'll need to expand that, but let's see where it takes us. Equal to, now continuing now, if you look at what we have, 1 minus 1, you can see that 1 minus 1 goes, and then we've got 2 sin y plus 2 sin y. What does it give us? It gives us 4 sin y, and then you can see also plus sin squared y minus sin squared y becomes 0. So what we have, I think at this stage I can open up this bracket. This is over. I can open up this bracket. Remember now, this is a difference of two squares. When you're dealing with the difference of two squares, it's as good as multiplying the first and you're multiplying the last. The middle terms are going to cancel out. So what I have is 1 times 1, which is 1, and then minus sine squared y. Are you getting that? And then if you continue that, this is equal to, now it's important now for you to recognize a few things. Here, when you look at this bottom here, you remember cos squared y plus sine squared y is equal to 1. Then if you take this to the other side, this is same as cos squared y is equal to 1 minus sine squared y. Alright, so this is simple to say for sin y over, now since it's cos squared, this is cos squared out, it's more of cos squared y, right? But I'm not going to write it as cos squared y, I'm going to write it as cos y times cos y. Alright, because I want to reach my answer now. Look at this. At this stage, I'm able to look at the this part here to say what is sin y over cos y. That's my 10. You see that? So this becomes my 4, and then I can have bracket. The first one is 10y, and then times 1 over, there is 1 cos y remaining, and you know what is 1 over cos y? It's what? It's sec. So this is 410, it's 10y times sec y. Alright, so this, I think then we have to check our beginning for 10y sec y, and then we can now conclude that this is our right hand side. So this is equal to our right hand side. So we proved it. Not complicated, not difficult. You just needed to be, I think it was just standard. That's the simpler method that we could have followed on that. Alright, let's move on to the next one here. It says simplify, that's 4 marks. And then they are also bringing something similar here, but let's see what was different, but it's 4 marks. They are saying here, I've got 10 theta over sec theta minus 1, and then plus 10 theta over sec theta plus 1. As I say, they want us to simplify. It looks, we're not proving, but it looks almost the same approach like what we did in the previous. Now when I'm looking at this again, I want to simplify this, but let me add what is at the bottom. Let me have a common denominator like we did previously, which is sec theta minus 1 and sec theta plus 1. Let's start there, and then again the division. Then from here, sec theta minus 1, sec theta minus 1, I take that and multiply with 10. You see that? So that's what I'm going to be doing here, which is equal to 10 theta multiplying by sec theta plus 1. And then plus again, I'm going to take that and cancel with that. Okay, so it will be this multiplying that. That's what I'm going to be doing also here, which is equal to 10 theta bracket, it's sec theta minus 1, then equal to, from here I think I can open up the brackets all together, whereby 10 theta sec theta, but I just want to save some time here. You know what is 10? 10 is what? Sine over cos. So I've got my sine theta over my cos theta, that is changed there, multiplied by, remember what is sec? Sec is 1 over cos theta. Are you seeing that? I'm just doing this intentionally so, but the second one I'm not going to do anything on the second one. Look at this. If I open up this bracket, it's plus 10 theta, and I open up this bracket, it's minus 10 theta. So those are going to cancel. I'm just interested in the first ones to see where this thing is going to lead. So let me continue with the second one. I'll write it as what? As plus 10 theta, and then plus again, change that 10 as my sine theta over cos theta. Now I need to do the same thing here, times here sec is 1 over cos theta. Yeah, okay, we're still there. And then now, as I say, it is minus 10 theta. Then I'm going to divide here, and when I'm dividing, open up this bracket at the bottom. Remember, difference of two squares is as good as doing the first one and the last one. So it will be sec squared theta, and then it's minus 1. Alright, so it's as good as it was in the center, this one here. That's my sec squared theta minus 1. Alright, so now if I continue with this, as I said, you can see that plus 10 theta minus 10 theta, that goes off, and what do I have next is equal to, I think here, maybe I was not supposed to open that, I mean to change sine over cos, but let's work on it like that. This is same as, this was actually going to be what, sine theta. Let's do it like that, sine theta over cos squared theta, and then it's plus sine theta over cos squared theta. So it's more like you've got two of these, and then everything is still under sec squared theta minus 1, sec squared theta minus 1. Now let's go back to our formulas, I think here, which can give us a bit of clarity also what we're having. Look at this one that we have, that is here, where it's what, sec 10 squared theta, which is sec squared theta. You see, if we take this one to the other side, which is 10 squared theta, is sec squared theta minus 1. I think that. So if I bring this into this question here, that sec squared theta minus 1, this is just 10 squared theta, this one. Are you getting that? So that's what I'm going to use on my next part here. So my question is, was I supposed to change 10? So let me just undo this part. I see that maybe I was not supposed to change, so let me just do this and maintain here my 10 theta, leave it like that. remember it was 10 theta that was multiplying, so I'm also going to change this and say I don't need to change my 10 theta there, because I see that is appearing, so it's 10 theta. So even here I just want to go back and return my 10 theta, because so here it's just 10 theta times 1 over cos theta, because I'm not able to now, I must just retain it as is. So even here it will be 10 theta, seeing that 10 theta times 1 over cos theta. Let's just retain it as that, because I discovered that here if we continue with it, I can now what, this is actually 2 what, 10 theta, this is sec, remember that is 1 over cos theta, like that, right? And then divided by, we said sec squared is what, is 10 squared theta. Sec squared theta minus 1 is 10 squared theta, which is 10 theta times 10 theta. That's as good as that. Why then at this stage I'm able to take out one of them. There it is. I think this was much better. Then from here, equal to, what do you have? I've got 2 over cos theta, and then divided by, I'm using now this division, divided by 10 theta, which is equal to 2 over cos theta. Now instead of saying divided there, it's as good as saying divided. Now I can convert that. 10 is what? Sine theta over cos theta. I can change it at this stage. Then to be times. When you say times, you know, you interchange, you flip there, which is cos theta over sine theta. Are you seeing that? And then from here, I think that's where it matters much, where the cos theta cancels the cos theta, and the answer is equal to 2 over sine theta. And this is, remember, sine over sine theta is the same as 2 cos sec theta. Then this becomes our final answer there. Alright, so this thing simplifies to 2 cos sec theta. You can test this thing, you can test it. What you do, you go to the original. Sometimes in case you made an error, you choose any value of theta. For example, say let your theta be equal to, let's say 40 degrees. Let's avoid special angles, let's use just that. Let's see if it will give what I want to do. Now I'm going to put this value in here to say under 10 there, it will be 10 40 all over. Now sec, remember, is 1 over cos. That's what you have to do, 1 over cos 40, right? And then minus 1. Be careful how you enter that part. And then plus again that 10 will be same as 10 40 again, close that, over, now sec theta is 1 over cos 40 again. Now this time is plus 1. Let's see what answer it gives. It gives 3,1114, 3,1144. Now being that, remember what we got, 3,111. You come back here and do the same thing, and you say let our theta here be equal to what? 40. We see whether the answers can compare. If the answers can compare, then it means our simplification is in the right track. So this is one trial that you can use there. So remember, it's 2, now say times, it was 2 over sine. So in a way I can actually use that to say 2 over sine, which is sine 40 there. You see, 3,11144. So you can see that this thing simplified up to the end. Then you can rest assure yourself that this is correct. Alright, so let's move on to the next one here. 3 marks. If cos A is 3 over 5 and you're given that A is between, theta is between 0 and 90, without using a calculator, calculate the value of that. This was not supposed to be difficult, they are already telling you that you are given, if I can write this here, you are given cos A is equal to 3 over 5, and they gave you now the domain, which is 0 is less than or equal to A is less than or equal to 90 degrees. Now if you are given this, before you do anything, I just want to remind you of a few concepts here to say you need to come up with a sketch. This needs a sketch, and when you are sketching it, remember they are easy here to say this is in the first quadrant. So if you have to sketch this here, what you'll be having, you are having, remember this is more like you're having this as your y and you're having this as your x, and then automatically when they say this is the value of your A, it means it's between 0 and 90. You know that this is 0, this is 90, so it's in the first quadrant. You don't have any other quadrant, so that's your first quadrant there. And in here you come back to your cos. Remember, in terms of x, y, and r or SOHCAHTOA, you must remember cos A is equal to x over r. Are you with me? Where in this case my r is going to be this part, and then if I come back and do this and then try to do that in my special triangle here, and what I'll be saying is this is my y and that is my x. Remember, this is now your Pythagoras, and then in here you need to come up with the coordinates xy, in which already you can see this here. We said equal to, they said cos A is 3 over 5, so whereby my x is equal to 3, my r is equal to 5. I can put those values here to say r is 5, and then my x is equal to 3. You see this? I'm trying to put, so this is actually 3 here, and then we need to find the y value. So how do you find the y value? You're right. How do you calculate the y value on this? You remember theorem of Pythagoras, whereby y is equal to square root of x squared, r squared, sorry about that, minus x squared. This is the theorem of Pythagoras. So y, but don't forget it's plus or minus at first. So y, but since it's in the first quadrant, you can actually ignore now the negative. So it will be the only positive, which is square root of 5 squared minus 3 squared. So y is equal to square root of 25 minus 9. 25 minus 9, y is equal to square root of 16, which is equal to 4. See, so there you have the value of y is equal to 4. Now when you simplify this, you are able now, remember, okay, I've made a mistake here to forget my A. Let me just mark my A there. This is your angle A. We use something different. Remember, this is my angle A. I'm supposed to mark it. Now they say now we need to simplify cosec A. Let me write that. I need to simplify cosec A over 1 plus cos A. Alright, so you can see now that whatever you want to simplify here, it is related to the values that we're getting. So for me to be able to simplify this part, cosec A over this, it is equal to now cosec, remember, is 1 over sine A over 1 plus cos A, see, which is equal to 1 over, now you come back and say what is sine A. Remember, sine, if cos is x over r, sine is y over r. So you know your value for y over r, it's 4 over 5, right? 1 over, and then all over, and then 1 plus cos, we maintain our cos A, which was 3 over 5, 3 over 5. Now let me come back to this question. What did they say here? They said without using a calculator, the calculator part. So I'm not going to use a calculator, that's what they're saying here. But of course, I can just use my calculator to say what is 1 over 4 over 5, the top one, like here to say 1 over, that's where you put a fraction, 4 over 5. You have to use your calculator. It's simple. I think you can even tell. That one is simple, 5 over 4. But when I come back to 1 plus 3 over 5, I can even add that without the assistance of a calculator. It's 8 over 5. So in here, I've got 5 over 4 divided by 8 over 5. See that? Yeah, I hope I did that right. Which is equal to 5 over 4 times 8. Now it's times 5 over 8. I think that, which is equal to, expect this to cancel, but it's 25 over 32. That's what it gives me as the answer here. But I can test this. 25 over 32, we can test this. How do you test it? Look at this. You come here, you can actually find, let me do this for my test. You can remember, it says what? Cos A is 3 over 5. So what is A? A is equal to arc cos 3 over 5, which is equal to, we can find that angle now, the angle A. So it's shift arc cos, and you've got 3 over 5 in here equal to, there is 53,13. 53 is not going to be exact, but it's better. 53,13, that is my value for A. You see, I'm going to use the actual value though. So since I know my value for A, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it here. Are you seeing that? Now I'm going to use it here. And then let me just give it enough space to the final answer. I'm going to compare these two answers. I'm going to use it here to say, now we are saying cosec 53, comma, I think it was 14 over 1 plus cos 53,14. Whatever I get, it must give me this answer here. So let me use the actual value that is not rounded off. So what do you do? Remember I said shift arc cos, it was 3 over 5, right? Like this. So this is the value. So I'll keep my answer. Remember, this is my last answer. The calculator keeps that. So I'll say cosec, remember, is 1 over sin answer. See that what I'm having? Actually, I'm not going to get it right like that. Let me check. My answer is still there. So I put a fraction first, and then on top is cosec is another fraction, which is 1 over sin answer. That is better. Then all over at the bottom is 1 plus cos, there is cos A, which is answer. I think that equal to, there it is, 25 over 32 if you use the actual one. But if you're going to use the 53,14, you might not get the exact, because if you come here and use that one to say 53,14, I think you come here backward and do the same here and say 53,14, you might discover that it's a bit, you see 0,7812. So you also say 25 over 32 to check if it's 0,7812. So it's almost the same, but it kind of changes a bit with the rounding off. Alright, then that was that part. Let's remove this. Let me erase. Next one, we are saying determine this without using a calculator. This was 3 marks. So I think it's also without a calculator, fine. It's not standard there. What I need to do is 1 over sec negative 15. So first I need to remind myself of these negative angles and what is sec. Remember, sec is cos. Remember, so this is same as saying before taking care of that negative, sec is same as 1 over cos negative 15. Actually, sec 1 over sec is actually, this is same as cos negative 15. So 1 over that is that. And you must remember, cos negative 15 is positive cos. You know, looking at your cast diagram, you can even test with the calculator. What you do is, to see this, you just put this cos negative. You say cos minus 15 here. and then you ask yourself, what answer does it give? It gives a positive answer. So you're like, okay, this is cos 15, right? But you're not done. You come back now and say, okay, since this is cos 15, how will I simplify this? Now cos, using special angles, now you have to go for special angles. Now can use 60 and 45. This is the same as saying cos 60 minus 45. I can get 15 from here. What other form can I get 15? Or I can use 30 and 45. Another person can say, you can use even here cos, different ways. 30, sorry about that, it's cos 30, I mean 45, not 30. It's cos 45 minus 30. Whatever case, it was going to give you the answer, you see. So let me just follow up with this one here, where it is equal to, you know, the expansion rule of cos. Let's check it on the formulas. If they give that expansion rule, yes, of course, it's minus. Remember, cos A minus B is cos A. They made an error. There is supposed to be cos A cos B. If it's minus, it's plus sine A sine B, you see. So you come here and say it's same as cos A, which is cos 60 cos 45. Now if it's minus, it's plus sine 60 sine 45. Now they say don't use a calculator. Of course, they expect that you know these special angles to say what is cos 60. Now you take a calculator and say, look what you do now with the calculator. You go for cos 60. Okay, sorry about that. You just go for cos 60, say equal to, say cos 60 is half. But what about sine 60? These I think you already know special angles now. It's root 3 over 2. So cos 60 is half, sine 60 is root 3 over 3. Now look at cos 45. That's why you need to be careful so that you don't show that you use the calculator. Cos 45, you don't write it as root 2 over 2. Remember, it's the calculator will rationalize. You need to write it where it's coming from. So here it's 1 over square root of 2 equal to root 2 over 2. So you write 1 over square root of 2. Now cos 45 is same as sine 45. So that's what you do there. I want you to be careful. So you say 1 over 2 times under cos 45 is 1 over root 2. Don't say root 2 over 2 because it's more like you have rationalized. You're not a calculator, you remember. And then here it's square root of 3 over 2 again times 1 over root 2. See how we do it. Then continue there. 1 times 1 is 1 over 2 square root 2 plus 1 root 3 there over 2 square root 2. This in a way shows you are not the calculator. I see that the common denominator it's 2 square root of 2. Then after that, there you've got 1 plus square root of 3. See, you can leave your answer like this. There is no, if you want to rationalize, yes, you can multiply by root 2 over 2 root 2, but 3 marks I think is enough. They should have told you to rationalize if they wanted. Then you multiply that times that, which will be equal to 2 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 6 over 2. This one is 4 at the bottom here. Remember, multiplying 2 times 2 is 4 times what? 2 square root 2 here. Sorry. 4 times 2, which is 8. And then here, factorize 2 outside. When you factorize 2 outside, it's square root of 2 plus square root of 6 over a. Okay, let's cancel out the 2. Sorry here. I'm going to say 4 times 2, where I cancel out that 2. So the answer is square root of 2 plus square root of 6 over 4. So this then should have been the answer, but I can now check it with the calculator. Remember, I'm finding what? I'm finding cos 15. Yeah, cos 15 equal to, there it is, square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over 2. You could have done the same thing with here. You go for cos 45 here, so minus this, and then you follow the same rule. It was going to lead us to the same thing, but now you're using cos, and you know with cos it was going to be simple here, cos 45 cos 30 and then it's plus sine 45 sine 30. The only thing now is 1 over square root of 2 here times, for cos now, that's cos 30 is the one which is square root of 3 over 2 plus sine there, nothing has changed, times 1 over 2. See that? That is the same approach in here. Yes, that's the same approach. So you have got root 3 over 2 root 2 plus 1 over 2 root 2. And then where is that? There it is. Yes, there it is. And this guy here is this guy there. Just check. You see that? Same thing. So that is that. Let's move on to the next one. Let me remove. Okay, no, let me erase first. Last one says solve the following equation: 2 cos 2 theta plus cos 2 theta minus 1 is equal to this. It's 5 marks. Okay, let's go for it. And then it's saying what? This is saying, if I can write it down here, it's more like saying 2 cos 2 theta plus cos 2 theta minus 1 is equal to 0. And then we will come back there to the domain values of x to say it's minus 180 to 108. We'll come back to that. Let's solve this. Cos 2 theta plus cos 2 theta, this is minus 1. Okay, 5 marks. All right, you actually add here 2 plus 1, which is 3 cos 2 theta. Now take 1 to the other side, is equal to 1. Then divide by what? By 3. Divide by 3 on both sides. So you have got cos 2 theta is equal to 1 over 3. Agree with me? I don't know why they made it that easier there. Now from here, I'm supposed to now find my values. Remember, now this is more of the general solution. Now what do? I find my theta, my reference angle. My ref angle. So what do I say? I'll say my ref angle is equal to arc cos 1 over 3. See, I'm finding my reference angle, which is equal to, then I'll show you how you go about the reference angle. So let's do this and come back here. What is it? Then it's shift arc cos 1 over 3 here. Okay, equal to, I'm getting 70 point, they say 3 decimal places, 70.529. 70.529 degrees. This is my reference angle. Now I'm reminding you of the cast diagram, and I'm focusing only on cos. Remember, on the cast diagram it says what? All students take chemistry. I'm focusing on cos. Cos is positive there, cos is positive there, in the first quadrant and in the other quadrant. What is the other quadrant? Here it's 360 minus theta, remember. Alright, so how do you then write the general formula? So the first one, you're going to say, remember, you're finding now reference angle. So when you say arc cos, you are left with 2 theta is equal to your ref angle, which is 70.529, then plus the first one is what? Plus k 360 degrees. That's the first angle. Now this is the first quadrant, so plus k 360. Alright, so that is the first one. And then when we find the answer there, what we do is we divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, so that you can have your reference angle there as theta is equal to, we can divide this by 2, it will give us 70.529 over 2. It is what? 35.264. 35.264 plus k 180 degrees. Alright, so we can have this one. I'm going to have it on a little bit on the side. Alright, then I'm going to use it now when I'm finding all my answers. Then the other one I could have done here is to use, remember the next one is in the what? Fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant is 2 theta is equal to, same thing, reference angle 70,29 plus actually no, I'm mixing up this thing. Let me redo this. Let me use a different marker. Let me use there. Okay, let me use the red. It's what? Remember, it's 360 minus reference angle there. So it's 360 minus 70,529. So it's 360 fourth quadrant minus reference angle, and then it's what? That is plus K 360 degrees. But this is equal to what? Move it a little bit there. This is equal to 2 theta. See that? Then from here you have to use a calculator. You divide by 2, this you divide by 2, this you divide by 2. You subtract and divide by 2. So my theta is equal to that. So it will be fraction 360 minus 70,529, right, divided by 2, it gives me 144,7355. So 144,734, 144,734 degrees plus K 180 degrees. This was the general solution if they wanted that, but they gave you to say your answer must be what? Between negative 180 and 180. So we've got theta values as theta is negative 180 is less than or equal to theta is less than or equal to 180 there. Alright, so if you have got that, these are the values of theta, you can do it now. You see, now when K is 1, let's start with 0. When K is 0, I'm going to be listing the values now, the answers. So theta is equal to K being 0. We have got 35,264 on the first one. K is 0. The other one, K being 0 there, is 144,734. It is still within our what? Our range of values of theta. Now what about when K is 1? The moment I say K is 1 on the first one is plus, so automatically it becomes out because it's 180 plus. You see, it's out, so K cannot be 1. What about K is negative? Okay, let's do the other side. When K is 1, it's also out of range. What about K is negative 1 here, and then here K is negative 1? Let's test both answers and see what it gives us. So those will be the answers. It's 35,264 minus 180. It gives me that one, which is negative 144. See that on the first one, and then it's part of the values even here. It's 144,734, and then you say minus 180. It will give me the negative value of that, which is negative 35. So those are the values. So the other one will be here. If I arrange them in order, so I would have said there is a negative value here, so that there is also my negative 35,264, and then there is a negative 144,734. So it's more like I can write my answer here and say plus or minus. See, you can just come here and say plus or minus and plus or minus. So that becomes my values of theta. Okay, that was that. They gave it 5 marks. So that is this, guys. This is our 20 marks trig question 1. I know it's a bit long and it takes a bit of time to go through it, but listen, guys, my aim is to prepare you for the final exams. That's why you find I kind of deviate again, bringing you some concepts that are very important so that you can understand where are these answers coming from. Now, my student, you are my student, alright? So I consider you my student. If you are my student, the best thing you can do to this channel is to subscribe, so that we can know that behind the scenes there is someone like you who's benefiting from this channel. Secondly, the best thing you can do for the 24-minute lesson is for you to leave us a comment. That's the second thing, because when you leave us a comment now, that is engagement. Number 3, the best thing you can do for this channel is to share it to your friends and your colleagues who can also benefit from this channel. Sharing is caring. So guys, I would like you to do those 3 things. Well, it's up to you. You can turn on the notification bell, even if you subscribe and you don't turn it on because you are frustrated of the many notifications, because we do a lot of videos that are outside, I mean from high school to nated, so sometimes you might be frustrated. But if you want to turn on the notification bell, it's up to you, but I will encourage you, be subscribed. We have come again to the end of this lesson. For private lessons, give me a shout if you are interested in those private lessons. We can do 1 or 2. I can hook you up if ever, or I can assist you. Have a session. I do my N1, N2, N3 on private lessons. If you guys feel like you need your N4s, talk to me. We can arrange some private lessons, tutorship for this kind, so that you can be ready for your exam. All right, so we're done. Let's continue the next lesson with question number 2. All right.